Welcome back, trainers, and the next community day has been announced, and that is going to be Bagon finally into Shiny Salamence. As you see here, it also has a Mega, so let's get started. Okay, trainers, so I'm pretty excited for this community day personally because Shiny Salamence does look amazing, and not only that, it's going to be very meta relevant. And I wanted Salamence to finally get some love because with those single charge moves, it's really killing it in raids as well as PvP. But with this community coming up, we're going to try to predict what move it can possibly have to see how viable and usable it's going to be when it comes down to it. So if we go ahead and go into the news in your app, you can see all this information yourself. If you go over here, smash through the weekend on April Community Day with Bagon. So this is all going down April 13th. From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. It's not going to be reverting back to the old times like before. It's staying during those times there. So personally for me, I like that. It's just a odd time to upload YouTube videos for me. So we'll see how that goes. Features: Bagon will appear more frequently in the wild. Lure modules will last 3 hours for the duration of the event, which is, pretty much every single time, right? Evolve Shelgon during or up to 1 hour after the event to obtain Salamence that knows a special move. So we're going to go ahead and go over that here shortly. Bonuses are going to be 3x catch XP. Okay, that's pretty much it. So this is going to be quite exciting because it does have a massive attack as a Salamence. So we're going to do a little comparison, take a look at its current moves, and see how it holds up going up against other dragon types. Over here on the Go Hub, let's take a look at Salamence here. It's going to be a dragon and flying type, making it very weak to ice, unfortunately, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Max CP 3,749, attack at a whopping 277, defense 168, and stamina 216. The weaknesses are going to be Dragon Fairy, double weakness to ice, and then a weakness to rock, double resisting grass and ground, and then resisting bug, fighting, fire, and water. So it's pretty rounded. Nice resistance list there, as well as a doubled up resistance, so that's actually going to be pretty good for PvP. And then looking at the current moves that it has, Fire Fang, Dragon Tail, and Bite did receive a new move recently for the quick moves. And then for the charge moves, we have Draco Meteor, Hydro Pump, and Fire Blast. So it's quite a diverse set there. Plenty of different types to pick and choose from. The only problem is they're all going to be single charges and take quite some time to finally get off. I personally used it quite a bit in PvP when it first came out. Actually purchased a secondary move on the current one that I'm walking, and it can find some usability and be good in certain situations up against the types that it's strong against. Granted, the moves that you're using are going to be good against those, but for the most part it's going to be going down most of the time. Before you get off your charge, you're going to have to use a shield, therefore it's not too viable for PvP. Now as far as raids, it can find some usability for sure. Being a pure dragon attacker, Dragon Tail, and Draco Meteor, it will be putting off a good amount of damage. So it's not completely useless at this time, but it can definitely improve in the future with this community day move. So this is pretty nice, guys. Really happy about this. Salamence is a shiny that looks amazing. So let's go ahead and do a little comparison with the other top dragons to see what we have going on. Now the dragons I'm going to be comparing it to are going to have double charge moves. Okay, so there's, you have Dialga and Palkia and stuff like that, which I'm not going to include because they're all single charge moves. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, now looking at the current top dragon attackers, that's going to be Rayquaza and Dragonite. Both of those are going to have Dragon Tail and Outrage as their best movesets as far as a dragon offensive Pokemon. Now Rayquaza's attack is going to be at 284, Dragonite 263, and then Salamence 277. Now if you're thinking to yourself, alright, well, if Salamence does receive Outrage, which I'm going to tell you now, I don't think that's what it's going to be, then it's not going to be outperforming Rayquaza still. That would be correct. But I have a theory here, which is going to receive another move. It's going to cause a significant less amount of energy to finally get off, therefore putting off more of these charge moves and making it a little bit better than Rayquaza, possibly. So we'll go over that here in just a moment. Now for the stamina on Rayquaza, that's going to be at 170, Dragonite 198, and then Salamence at 168, which is going to be the lowest out of all three of these. As far as the stamina goes, Rayquaza is sitting at 213 stamina on the Dragonite, 209, and then Salamence actually at the top with 216 stamina, having the most health out of all of these. So as it stands right now, Salamence is looking fantastic. It's just a matter of what move it's possibly going to get. Now, if I'm correct, it's probably now going to be one of the best dragon Pokemon to use currently. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what it can possibly learn. Alrighty, so we're over here on Bulbapedia. I'm going to focus more on the dragon moves because there is quite a significant amount of moves that it can learn. And we do see Dragon Breath, which if it did learn that, that'd be great, but I think it would need to learn a great charge move to go along with that. Otherwise, it's not going to be too hot with that single charge move there. It does have Dragon Claw, which can find great usability in PvP, but as far as raids go, it still would be good, but that's not what we're shooting for here. So let's keep moving along here and see what we have. Dragon Claw is showing up yet again, and like I said, we're going to focus on the dragon moves. It already has Dragon Tail as a quick move, and if we look at the breeding moves, the egg moves here, we do have Dragon Pulse. Dragon Dance is not a attack. And then Dragon Rush, there it is. We also have Dragon Rage, but I don't think so. Dragon Rush is what I think it's going to be getting. That move is not currently in the game. Also, you have Garchomp, which can possibly be learning this coming in the future, and this is probably why they want to drop the Salamence Community Day, because Garchomp is going to be having that as well. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but yeah. Dragon Rush is going to be doing a little bit less damage than Outrage. For the main series, we have 100 damage for Dragon Rush, and for Outrage is doing 120. So if it was converted into Pokemon Go, I think it would be, yeah, the same way, doing a little bit less damage, but at the same time, it's going to cost a significant less amount of energy to get off, therefore making it a whole lot more useful in raids and also PvP. So that is my prediction right there. There you have it. Dragon Rush is what I think, personally, what Salamence is going to be getting for its Community Day move. Now, if we go down here, we see Draco Meteor, which it already has. Dragon Pulse would actually be pretty good as well. And then Outrage at the bottom. So, I don't think it's going to get Outrage. Dragon Pulse is also on the table, but I'm putting all of my money on Dragon Rush, hopefully. Dragon Claw is also possible, and then Dragon Pulse, okay? So there you have it for the possible moves that it could be learning for its upcoming Community Day. And if you want to start walking one and preparing, because they are kind of scarce in the wild, and I know a lot of people don't really have too many candies of these because, well, they're just simply rare. So this is going to be a fantastic community, guys. Get hyped, get excited. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and see who's going to be the best dragon attacker as far as DPS and TDO go. Now, I do have several Salamence on here with moves that they don't typically have or have currently in the game, which is going to be Outrage and as well as Dragon Pulse, just for kicks to see where they land here. So the first one is going to be Salamence with Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor sitting at 20.28. The only problem with that, we know, is it's going to be a single charge move. Therefore, you can get, you know, 75, 85, 95% of the way with that charge, and then you finally fall, therefore wasting all of that energy. That is why Rayquaza and Dragonite are going to be your more preferable option at the time. So Salamence is sitting at the top with 20.28 with Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor, then Rayquaza with Dragon Tail Outrage, then Rayquaza with Dragon Tail Outrage sitting at 19.68. And then we have Salamence again. If it did receive Outrage, would be sitting at 19.45. Then we have Dragonite with Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor sitting at 18.99. And then Palkia with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor sitting at 18.56. Dialga, Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, 18.41. Dragonite, Dragon Tail and Outrage, 18.30. Salamence, Dragon Tail, Dragon Pulse, 18.7. And then Latios, Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, 16.74. Latias, Dragon Breath and Outrage, 16.26. Alolan Exeggutor, Dragon Tail and Dragon Pulse sitting at 15.21. Then unfortunately, my Kingdra sitting at the bottom with Dragon Breath and Outrage at 13.60. So there you have it for the DPS. Now if we go to TDO, that is going to be total damage output. Number one, we have Dialga with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor sitting at 907, which is pretty good. Then we have Dragonite, and there are the times there. I'm just going to go ahead and run down the list. As you can see here, 2 Dragonites with Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor, then Dragon Tail and Outrage, then Palkia with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, Latias, which is pretty tanky with Dragon Breath and Outrage, then Salamence with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor, Rayquaza, then surprisingly up there with Dragon Tail and Outrage, then Salamence yet again with Dragon Tail and Outrage. That is just a fun thing I'm throwing in here because it does not currently have that move. Then we have Latios with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, Salamence yet again with Dragon Tail and Dragon Pulse. And that's currently not a move that it has quite yet. We'll just have to wait and see what it gets. And then we have Alolan Exeggutor with Dragon Tail, Dragon Pulse, and then unfortunately Kingdra yet again at the bottom with Dragon Breath and Outrage. So there you have the TDO. Salamence is looking pretty nice. Not too sure exactly where the Dragon Rush would land because it's not currently in the data, so there's no way to tell how much damage it's going to be putting off. So there you have the list from Pokemon Best to Worst from DPS and TDO. It's looking quite nice. So yeah, see that Dialga at the top. So if you have a good one, you should probably power it up. It's always nice to have at least one of those. I have a lucky one. Should probably get to that right. But I'm just saving my rare candies for that ultra Pokemon that I've been waiting for so long. And that's going to be Garchomp. Just can't wait for that thing. Now, another thing to take note of is Salamence will have a Mega Evolution. Yes, the handless dragon. Very funny looking, but it's no joke when it comes down to attack. So this is something you probably want to make as many as you can. I'm not saying going overboard or anything. Salamence is going to keep its typing, but also be a massive attacker. So just a little food for thought. You may want to prepare yourself accordingly when come this community day, so you have plenty of candies and the perfect ones for when it does receive its Mega, because I don't think Megas are too far off now at this point, guys. It's just a matter of time, and they probably might be rolling those out soon enough. So there you have it, trainers. Salamence is going to be an absolutely fantastic Pokemon, probably regardless of whatever it learns, because as you can currently see, even with the moveset that it has, it's still performing quite nicely. Now, I do have Fire Fang on here for a bit of ice coverage if I'm going into a PvP battle. Now, ideally, if you're going into raids using this to go up against other dragon types, you're going to obviously want Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor. I also do have Hydro Pump for coverage. Spent that Stardust behind that secondary move because I just wanted to use it because it's pretty cool. I do have it for the Ultra League sitting at 2433. Let's see where it lands if I power it up again. At this point, there's no point to even power it up. And for the people out here who do not have a Salamence quite yet, or maybe you have one or a couple that you've been considering, well, obviously at this point, since it's been announced, you definitely want to hold off. Do not evolve those, and do not feel bad if it's not even entered into your Pokedex yet, because, well, there was no need to even evolve it. And I've been saying from the get-go, a long time ago, ever since we started seeing these community days, you do not want to evolve a whole bunch of these Pokemon that we may possibly see a community day for. And the biggest indicator is these single charge moves, as well as coming out of 10-kilometer eggs, as well as also being pretty rare. Those usually end up being the community day Pokemon. So I hope this video helped you out. As far as a PvP Pokemon, if it did receive Dragon Rush, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Claw, all of those are going to be fantastic. All those double and triple charge bar moves for PvP are just going to be absolutely fantastic. As far as a Raider, well, those are all going to be pretty good as well. If it did receive Dragon Claw, not too much. If it did receive Dragon Breath, because we did see a quick move come in for community day, that's going to be Tyranitar with Smackdown, so it's not ruled out completely, although doing that to Salamence is going to be pretty dirty, and I hope Niantic doesn't just do that. Could we possibly see the first 2 move entry coming in? Not likely, although that'd be quite amazing, but not possible, I don't think. Anyways, with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Get hyped for Bagon Community Day coming in. Salamence is going to be looking green, and, well, green is one of my favorite colors. So that's it, trainers. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.